Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSi DFS. Hope you're all having a fantastic week as we head into Tuesday here, and a nice 10-game slate on tap for us in the NHL. But before we dive into that, just a quick reminder, the soccer room is completely free here at FSi for the month of December with the new coach, Charlie. That's his DK user handle. If you played DFS soccer at all, you know Charlie. He is phenomenal. He actually just had a takedown of the big tournament on Saturday. So it was pretty impressive seeing that. I mean, this is in the first week of being the new FSI coach. He already has a takedown. He's just showing off at this point. But that's free. And if you want to come join us in the NHL room, if you haven't already, you could always use the code POWERPLAY to get a free day of access. We would love to have you in there. It's a big family. We love it. We love it. All right, so let's dive into this slate. There is one massive favorite in Edmonton, minus 410 at home. We're going to get Connor versus Connor, Bedard versus McDavid, the one generational talent leading into the next generational talent. It's exciting. This is going to be a fantastic game in terms of just like a hockey fan, and in DFS it's going to be very popular just because Edmonton is that good offensively. Everything else, you can kind of look at the odds here and the over-unders. Here's your projected goalkeepers and kind of where their save percentages shake out. Again, these are just projected. Nothing is confirmed at this point in time. These are just projected. Ranta, he's really struggled so far this season for Carolina. Everybody else, just kind of there, floating around average. Nothing sticking out too much. If you want to pay attention to the goalies and keep track of them as the day goes on, you can go to sites like dailyfaceoff.com or leftwinglock.com. They'll have all that information. They're not, this is not an ad for them. They don't sponsor us or anything, but they're just fantastic resources. If you're playing NHL DFS, I highly recommend and encourage you to use those sites. All right, let's look towards some line stacks, and these are in no particular order by any means. And but we're going to start off with Edmonton with Hyman, McDavid, and then their defender who skates on the top power play with them in Bouchard, 6.6K. So Edmonton's offense, they've really, stepped it up. They really struggled to start off the year. It was a lot of ugliness in Edmonton, but they finally figured it out, and these three have been dominant, to say the least. Hyman continues to be a shot-on-goal machine. He's a threat for the shot-on-goal bonus every single night. McDavid, I don't really have to even talk about McDavid. We know about his abilities. And then Bouchard on defense, 6.6K. He has been fantastic. He's been lighting the lamp. We cored him in the last slate, and he got us like 25 DK points. It was awesome. Loved it. Did very well. So Edmonton, they're going to be extremely popular. So if you are playing GPP or what else, get off of them because they're just going to be that owned. If you want to go a little bit in a different lineup build strategy, obviously if you go with Edmonton, it's going to be a lot of stars and scrubs. I like this Florida line, and I like the St. Louis line to give you a bit more of a balanced build. So this top line of Florida, Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Reinhart. They're going to be on the road. They're at Seattle. They're a minus 155 favorite. But these two teams are going in complete opposite directions in the standings. Seattle, they have one win in their past 10 games. Florida, they're on a nice little winning streak. I want to say it's 4, maybe only 3, maybe 4 game winning streak, but they're second in the division. They're doing fantastic so far this season. Detroit been spearheaded by these 3 guys. Tkachuk is another guy who's been part of that Florida offense. But really, it's been centered around these 3 guys. And just these 3 in the past 5 games have combined for 25 points. So 25 goals plus assists to go along with 50 shots on goal. So they're getting the shot on goal bonus routinely. These guys are always a threat for the point bonus as well. And again, they're pretty middle salary tier. So if you go with this stack, you're going to get a more like balanced build as opposed to Edmonton giving you more of a stars and scrubs sort of build. Another GPP, another middle tier build. I think this is more of a GPP than I think the Florida call is. But we're going to go with Buchnevich, Thomas, and Jake Neighbors. So they're on the road, just like Florida, going up against Detroit. Detroit is going to be on the back end of a back-to-back. They played last night in Dallas. Now they're playing at home, facing off against St. Louis here. But Buchnevich, Thomas, and Neighbors, they all skate on the top line, so they're all skating together at even strength. They also all skate together on the top power play unit as well. So they get full correlation, which is awesome and really what you want when you're playing NHL DFS. Neighbors, he's been a great value as of late. He's been shooting the puck quite a bit. He's also been lighting the lamp. And then Buchnevich and Thomas, we just know how good those guys are already. I think it could be a nice GPP play. I wouldn't really touch these guys too much in cash. There's many other options that you could go to if you're doing a cash out. Some notable special teams before we get into the individual plays. Edmonton, they're a massive favorite, and they're also the third best power play unit going on this slate tonight, and they're facing off against one of the worst penalty kill units in Chicago. Rangers also have a nice advantage going up against that Toronto penalty kill, and the Lightning have the biggest, or tied for the largest with Edmonton, difference in that they have the second best power play unit facing off against a woeful PK unit for Vancouver. So you could go nice stacks for those teams if you do want to go there and just get off of Edmonton. That's pretty much the story of the slate. Get off of Edmonton outside of cash. So individual plays, Jack Eichel up at the top, 8.7K. It is pricey. He's going to be at home facing off against Calgary. Calgary's going to be on the back end of a back-to-back. Eichel and Marcia Show. These are like the two guys that I'm highlighting from Vegas. Pietrangelo's there as well. All three of these guys are going to be skating on the top power play unit. Eichel and Marcia Show do skate on separate even strength lines. Eichel's on the top line, Marcia Show's on the second line. But both of those guys have benefited from the separation or the split between them. They were, side by side on the same line, and Vegas's offense was just not doing anything. They split them up, and both of them have been doing phenomenal as of late. So I like both of those guys from Vegas. And again, they're the third biggest favorite on the board at home. I think they could go a little bit more under-owned. JT Miller, Pettersson, Vancouver guys. I think this Vancouver-Tampa Bay game is going to be a little bit of a shootout. I would go with the over if you were going to be betting on this game. I do think that both teams are going to be lighting the lamp quite a bit. You can see I got Miller, Point, and Pettersson all coming from this game. They're all just great floor plays. Point, we talked about how Tampa Bay is just elite in terms of special teams. You could pair Point with guys like Stamkos or Nikita Kucherov. I don't have them on the individual plays just because there's only so much room. But I wouldn't mind a nice Tampa Bay stack if you are going there. And then Miller, Pettersson, different even strength lines, same power play unit. If you want to go with the same even strength line, Lafferty down here has been skating with Pettersson. Lafferty's been able to light the lamp a couple of times, been shooting the puck, 3.1K at home, top line. Doesn't get any power play unit, so it is a bit of a disappointment, but still, he's cheap, and he could be a possibility. Scheifele at 6.4. You could pair Scheifele with Ehlers and Connor. Make sure you're paying attention to the injury news on Connor. He is day-to-day at this point in time. But Winnipeg facing off against San Jose. Now, San Jose has looked a whole lot better, especially their offense. Their offense has really been clicking. They've been a fun GPP team to be paying attention to. But I still think, San Jose has been fun, and they've looked a lot better in terms of that, they're still scoring 3, 4, 5 goals, but they're also allowing 4, 5, 6 goals in each of their games. So I do think that Scheifele and Connor could be a nice, and Ehlers could be a nice trio. The only issue is that Ehlers does not skate on the same power play unit as Scheifele and Connor, but you could replace Ehlers with a guy like Morrissey if you really wanted to, but there is a bit of a price gap between those two. Tomas Hertl, the Ninja Hertl, 5.4K. We just talked about how San Jose has been lighting the lamp quite a bit here, and it's been a lot from this top line. It's been a lot from Hertl, and it's been a lot from Eklund. So I think that could be really intriguing. And then Andrew Kopp for Detroit. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to mention with St. Louis. Detroit is down Dylan Larkin and JT Comfort. That is their top two centers. So they got really thin in center depth, and the center position in NHL is hugely vital. So Kopp moves up to that top line center position. Veleno is the second line even strength guy, and Veleno is actually the guy on the top power play unit. I think he's even cheaper than Kopp. I want to say he might be 3-1, 3-2. Don't quote me, but yeah. So Detroit is going to be cheap at center just because of the injuries that they do have. Smart guys, Guentzel in Pittsburgh. Arizona's going to be on the back end of a back-to-back. Pittsburgh, same as Vegas, and that they're the third biggest favorite. Pair them with Crosby if you really want to go there. Kachuk, already talked about him on Florida. Marcia Show. Tippett, this is more so of a floor play. Nashville likes to play up and down, quick style of play. Lots of shots going on. So Tippett, he's always been just a great floor play. Ehlers, talked about him. Eklund Vardy. All right, we're already over to the defense. Quinn Hughes, pairing him with Miller and Pedersen and Lafferty. I think the top what am I trying to say? High salary defense is absolutely loaded tonight. Am I going to go there in cash? Maybe not. I tend to, pay down at defense, just because I think there's enough value there to be paying off their salaries just as easy or easier than some of these top guys. But I do think it is pretty loaded up here for GPP. But Quinn Hughes, Pietrangelo, already talked about Morrissey. He's in there as well. Maurice Sider, he's been giving you a great floor. He's been a great floor option for you. Seth Jones, I feel like he's in this individual play interest for me, like every single Chicago slate, just because I still think he's just too cheap. His salary has gone up. I will say that. He was like 4.7 for a while. So it has gone up. DK's finally listening to these videos, and they're finally increasing his salary. Vince Dunn, top power play unit for Seattle. Nice little point per play. Parayko, it would not shock me, and I have not done any builds. I'd be completely honest. I've not done any builds at this point in time, but it would not shock me if my cash line has Parayko and it also has Murphy in it. Both of these guys have been fantastic. Murphy is a shot blocking machine, and he's going to have to put in some work against Edmonton here. But all it takes is 3 block shots, and he's going to get 2.5x his salary at 3.2K. 2.5x your salary, that is plenty enough to pay it off in cash games. So I love him there. And then Parayko, he's been shooting the puck, he's been blocking shots, and honestly, he hasn't been on the score sheet too much, but still, he's been paying off his salary just from that. And now he's going to have a nice matchup going up against a very depleted Detroit side because of injuries. So just scrolling over so you can see which teams on this slate have the most shots per game, which ones also allow the most shots against per game. We got them there. And then some full... Oh, that's blank. Forgot to put that in. My deepest apologies. It's normally in. But go to dailyfaceoff.com. Go to leftwinglock.com. You'll be able to find all that correlation on the power play and the even strength units. Or if you have questions, come join us in the Discord. Again, we'd love to have you here. And yeah, so that kind of wraps up this slate. Decide, do you want to go stars and scrubs with Edmonton, or do you want to go a little bit different and go kind of in the middle tier with teams like Florida, Pittsburgh, Vegas, Winnipeg, St. Louis, all those guys. So thanks for watching. As always, good luck in your contest. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out, and we'll see you in the next one.